So today we're going to take a look at how to adjust comps when you do a CMA. We're not going to actually show the CMA on this video. That's a different video I already have. I'll redo another one. But once you have it done and you're in your section on your MLS where you can adjust comps, this is where this video is going to come into play. So let me show you an example. I'll bring this comp field back up. Let me connect it over here with this one real quick. We'll connect them together. It's a little easier to understand if we have it all in one spot. All right, so here's my CMA I have ready to go on my MLS that I've already grabbed my comparable, done all that. Now, if I go here and generate a report and say this before I do any comp adjustments, this is what the value of this property would be. And I just picked a random property out of the MLS, one that's sold in a subdivision close to me out here in San Antonio. So as you can see right here for this random property that just sold, or it's active right now, I should say, I took just to see how well they priced it. It's 553, 578. Now this would be the price before any adjustments were made. So just keep in mind that 553 we can kind of see. So then I go back here in the top left, back to the CMA report. Again, I have my subject property already in there. I have all my comparables. I just grabbed 4 of them. There's 5 that were available. I took 4. And now we're going to show you how to adjust to make it more to make it more similar. Now remember, once you do adjustments, I have my subject property. You can't change your subject property. I always say consider that in stone, in cement, however you want to look at it. The subject property cannot change, but the comparables can change. So you never change the subject property. You always adjust the comparables to make them more like the subject property. And that's an easy way to remember it. Let's make your comparables as close to the subject property as possible. And here it is right here. So here are my 4 comparables. Here's my subject property like I showed you right here. And we're going to adjust these to make them as close to the subject property as we can. So to do that and make it simple for all of us, I'm going to put this in the comments of the video. Here's an adjustment square foot. As you can see, it has all these crazy stuff. Don't worry about this. All this is just formulas already built for you to make it easy. So the first thing you need to know is the square feet of your subject property. If I go to my subject property, I can see the square feet is 2595. Okay, so I'm going to go over here and bring up my 2595 right here at the top. And you notice once I put that in there, it gives me the subject property, 20% different is 519. So this means that all of my comps should be between 2076 and 3114. So my comps need to be plus or minus 20%. This is according to what appraisers like to use. Remember, this is an appraiser sheet so that when you have a listing presentation, you can let your client know, hey, this is how your home's going to get appraised. So it's important. Don't think of how they want to list it. It depends on what the bank is going to allow someone to buy it for. That's how you're going to get the appraised value. And of course, you're all saying, my client can put more money down, et cetera, et cetera. Of course they can. You come up with a difference. But this is just a good rule of thumb to know how to list a property correctly. So you have it right here. So it could be 2076 to 3114. So if I go back here, I want to make sure my comps work. So my square feet are all within that distance, as you can see. Let's see, 2136 is close, that fits. All right, so anything here, so these all square feet of my 4 comps, they now fit in the square feet of my subject property. So these comps can work. So they're good. That's the first thing you do. Check your comps. The next thing I'm going to do is you go to the sheet, is I need to get the square feet of each of the comps. Like, okay, so I'm going to come in here. And again, here's my square feet, 2136, 2774. So I'm going to do 2136, 2774. Put it in the right spot. And I have those first 2. And I know it's not 1699, so it is 2136. So we're just going to quickly fix this. And then get my last 2 is 2546, 3046. And I want to do it together with you so you can kind of see how it's going to work. Now you notice on this last comp 4, the last time we did this, we only had 3 comps instead of 4. So I need to make sure that all the formulas are being brought down here so that this one can adjust it. Because right now it's not picking up all the comps. So I'm going to go like this and highlight these rows. And I'm going to drag this down right there. Okay. So this is what this does. It applies all the formulas so that I can get everything together in the same formula. So I have all my comps, and I'm going to go find my last comp again to clean that up. It's 3046. Okay. So now I can use all my comps. So as you can see, first we got the square foot of comp 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to get the sold price per square feet, which is right here, sold price per square foot. So 214.88, 188.53. So we're at 214.88, 188.53. And let me go get the last two. 240.49, 203.54. So 240.49, 203.54. And then we're going to have to make it, because we have 4 comps, we have to change that to 4. And you can see by doing this, what this does is it changes, and it's based off a gross living area, all this type of stuff. It averages them all out, and then it uses this percentage. This is an appraisal percentage that it goes through with 33%, and it adjusts it that way. And doing all the formulas that are built into it, it lets us know that, okay, as we go through, we're ready to go. It puts us right here, and then it kicks it down. So then we got to, of course, go down here and adjust this bottom one. Again, you see I only have 3. So 3 aren't going to work. I have 4 comps. So I'm going to drag that down again like I just did. Again, you highlight the whole row. Bottom right at that row, there's that little dot or circle. You drag it down. So there I go. I have all those right there. So now I got to go back to my subject property, and I'm going to get my square feet again. Now, of course, that's right at the top. I can just look at that, 25.95. So I'm going to do right here, 25.95. And we're going to put it in all the different spots. And of course, you can cut and paste. This is just simple. I don't like to cut and paste. I don't want to mess up my formulas. And now the square feet, these 4 square feet, 2136, you can see 2774, 2546, and then 3046. Now all this is done, and it's simple. We put in, and then you can see right here, it gives us a bunch of wild numbers. Okay, so as you can see, then you go to the line 29. If the amount under adjustment, right here, adjustment, F23, it has no parentheses, that's going to be added. So you can see right here, this one is not in parentheses. So that shows you that the comp for this number 1 comp is less than the subject property. So I need to add this value to that comp to bring it closer to the subject property. Now, number 2, I'm glad they have both here. You can see it does have parentheses. That means you need to subtract this number from the subject property. So you can see this is over the 25 because we have to bring that value down from the subject property now to make it equal. So again, you're adjusting the comps to be more equal to the subject property. Now with these adjustments, you have to use whole numbers. So you have to just round up or down. So again, this one here is 12,514, but it's higher than 5, so it's going to be 12,515. So I'll show you where to do that. You're going to be right here, and this is the San Antonio Board of Realtors SABOR MLS. It'll work for your MLS. I'll show you some other ones in Laredo later. And then you go up here, and you're going to hit Customize Report. And then first we have to do comp adjustments. Sorry, I don't want to skip a step. So here, comp adjustments. And again, here's your comps. I'm going to go to the bottom, and it says add more adjustments. For our MLS, we have to click on that. Sometimes you can just plug them in. I'm going to click here, add more adjustments. And then you can see now we have an adjustment line. Now, if I want to enter a description, like comps changing, whatever you want to call it, adjustments, anything, you can call it whatever you want. Now, the first comp, you can see, okay, I'm going to be ready to adjust. So as we mentioned, we're going to add 32,090 to that comp. So you have to hit plus or minus, and there it is, 30 plus 32,090. The next one is a minus one, minus 12,515. So this one we're going to do minus 12,515. And then the next comp is going to be, let's see, it's a plus one, plus 3426. Then plus 3426. And now, of course, I need to go to the next page. So I have another page of comps. And then the last one, I'm going to pull minus 31,531. So then here, minus 31,531. So now I have all my comps in there, my adjustment values in there. I'm going to hit calculate totals. And you can see it's changed these values. So if I go back to the first page, it's now changed the values of the comps based on that appraisal sheet that we had, that worksheet. So now when we've changed these values, we have to make it show our report is going to show those values. So at the top, you're going to click Customize Report, go down to Suggested Price and Net Proceeds right here, and you're going to hit the pencil. So you can see we're going to use the adjusted average price of sold comparables. Because before we had just an average price of sold. So you can see the difference. There's only a $2,000 difference. So this was an interesting example where because of the comparables were close enough and some were higher, some were lower. Again, that's how you pick comparables. It brought us almost to the same property value that we had, which is very interesting. So then I'm going to hit back to the report. And then again, I'm going to hit generate report. And then if I go to the bottom page, remember we were 553, 551, we're right only $2,000 off. So we are right at the same value. So this is a great value that we have for that comp. Now, if I pull up the actual property, it's listed on the MLS right now for $589. So based on our comparables in the last four, I didn't pick the most expensive one. I picked the four under the most expensive. So if we would have added a different comp, if we go back to our search here, and then here when I show user results, if I would have picked one of these more 620, I picked the bottom four. I could have picked some other properties if I wanted to. And then we would have had the opportunity. Now, these are active, of course, but you can see in this subdivision here that I picked in the area north of around San Antonio, they have some at 489, 550. So this home is probably priced pretty close to what it could be because we didn't pick the highest comp. So this is not bad. So if you only use, if I was a buyer's agent, of course, I would say it's close to worth more than around 551 because I want to save my client's money. If I was a listing agent, I would pick that higher comp to show my seller that they could get a higher number. So then you'd have to do more numbers and work and all that to get the other numbers. But again, this is a very simple, very easy way to get your comps adjusted. You just follow the steps, and I went nice and slow through it for you. You just can pause the video, watch it again. Once you follow the steps and get it understood, it should help you be able to make those comp adjustments following the simple Excel sheet. And then when you do your listing presentation, you bring this with you. So I'm going to have my report that I just showed you here. Once I generate my report, I'm going to have this at my listing presentation, show all this, et cetera, walk through my report, talk about it. Once I show my report, and they love it and they're like, oh wow, that's great, thank you for my comps, then I'm going to pull out this form and say, also I made adjustments as an appraiser for price sold per square feet, and you're going to walk them through that as well. And then that way they're going to be like, wow, this is amazing. No other agent or very few agents do this, and it puts you a little bit above some other agents. So when you're going for the listing, it'll help you be able to get more listings. And hopefully that was a great video. Talk to you guys soon.